Hi everyone, my name is Elis and welcome to my channel. I like to talk about plants a lot, and today I thought we would talk about slow growing plants and why they are growing slowly. I know that, well, me at least, I really love fast growing plants because I want them to take over my home as quickly as possible. But I have also ended up with some slow growers, and I think I've also ended up with some slow growers because I have made them slow growers. My first slow growing plant is my Clusia rosea, Clusia princess rosea, or also called the autograph tree, because the leaves are so thick that you can literally sign your name in them, and you can watch your name grow as the plant grows bigger. These are, I believe, a shrub. I didn't know much about this plant when I got it. Oh my god, I say that so often, because that's how I end up with all of my plants. I literally got it because there was a deal at the plant store that you got a free plant if you spent $25 or something. And I just grabbed this one and I have come to love it, and I bought this pot there as well, and it just looks super good in this pot. Now this plant, I think it just grows slowly in my home because it is a slow grower, and that's all there is about it. The second plant that grows slowly in my home is my Peperomia prostrata, or string of turtles. These guys are a bit like succulents, but not quite. They actually do not like it when the soil dries out too much, and they like to be watered quite a bit more than a succulent. I don't know if this one is just growing slowly in my place because it's about to flower, or if it's just not a plant that is really happy in the climate in my home. I do love them. I really love string of turtles and string of hearts. So I'll just let it grow slowly. Another guy that is growing slowly in my place, well, I feel like it's growing slowly because I'm so used to so many of my plants just pushing out leaves constantly and getting really big really quickly, is my Codiceum variegatum, or Codiceum variegatum, usually called croton. I think this one has been growing slowly is because it had spider mites. And what pests can do is that they stunt the growth of your plant. I have luckily not lost any of the coloring or the foliage of the plant, and I have finally started giving it really bright light again, so it's starting to produce red and niceness in the foliage. So I love them. I love all of my plants, almost all of them. I see some cool things happening here, so we will just continue to watch this guy grow. Crassula Ovata is a jade plant. This one is called a golem jade, or commonly known as golem jade. I'm trying to use the scientific names more often, and if I'm not pronouncing them correctly, I will of course put them here on the bottom so you know exactly which plant I'm talking about. There's so much confusion around the common names, so I think it's just better if we stick to the scientific names, even though I've seen people be very mad about it. Anyway, jade plants, they are just a chill, slow grower. Best to my knowledge, there is some new growth here. It is in a tiny pot. I am not really a succulent person, so if it's not an aroid or a ficus, I am not really attentive to them. So maybe they are growing slowly because I'm not showing them the love and affection that they need. And then there's my Coffea arabica. This is an actual coffee bean plant that takes forever to produce coffee beans, but we will get there one day. I know it. I love coffee, so I want to grow my own coffee. I am gonna own a monkey one day that will eat the bean and poop out the bean. I think that is what they do in some farms, coffee farms. These guys, yep, super slow growers, but there's always new foliage coming. It just doesn't get really big and tall quickly because they don't end up as really big and tall plants. What is really important with this one is to never let it dry out, like with the topiary myrtle. It will dry out. If you let the soil dry out, the foliage will dry out and there's no coming back from that. I was gonna attempt to say the full scientific name for this guy, but I'm just gonna say Pilea. Pilea peperomioides, or the Chinese money plant. Now, this plant was such a hot plant like last year, and then it just seemed like everybody forgot about it. This one has been so difficult to figure out because if it dries out too much, it gets all limp and ugly, and then you water it and it's just like, I don't want your water, I'm gonna kill off this leaf. And every time I watered it, it would kill off leaf. It was like playing a sick game of plant hangman. But then I finally realized I should just try and bottom water it. And I've been bottom watering it ever since, and it seems to be doing really good now. At least I think he looks kind of nice. The foliage seems to be super healthy looking. I don't know if it's gonna sacrifice this one now because I just watered it, but at least I have some new growth. But it's not getting gigantic really quickly like I see some of them do. But I'm not giving up on this fashion plant of 2020. I don't think this is a slow grower. I just think that the same with the Pilea. This is Peperomia caperata. I just think I've been watering it incorrectly because it was super lush and full when I got it, but it has been just dropping all of the leaves off. It also has a really weird growth pattern and it's like stuck on a weird stem here. But same as the Pilea, if I water it, it kills off a bunch of leaves. If I let it dry out, it also kills off a bunch of leaves. This is a plant that I'm like, I kind of want to keep it, but at the same time, if you want it, like, I'll give it to you. If you ask 5 friends to subscribe to my channel, I will give you this plant. Heck, I will even ship it to you. Then there are my Sansiveras, or my snake plants. Now, I know what they are called or what the variations of them are. Was that grammatically correct? Anyway, but I am not gonna even attempt to pronounce the names. These in my home seem to just grow really slowly and not do really well. And I think same as with other plants, I think it's like, if you don't really love the plant that you have, they're not gonna thrive as much. And that's not some woo-woo science. It's more, you are just less attentive to it. And yeah, you care a little less about it. This one has been growing. I did have to repot it sometime last year. But I don't like notice it thrive and grow a lot. I think that is also because you're always told, like, never water your Sansivera, never water it, like they die if you overwater it. But the thing is, if you overwater your Sansivera or any of your plant, it's most likely due to the soil not being well draining enough. So if you manage to create a proper drainage in your soil and never have the plant sit in the water, it's impossible for you to overwater your plant. Because in nature, when it rains for days and days and days, like, plants aren't just like I'm gonna die, I'm being overwatered. Nope, 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 nope. They have proper drainage in the terrain that they're in. So fill that pot with perlite and pumice and whatever that helps with drainage, and you can always water your plants thoroughly. I'm gonna round this video off with my Sansiveras, because also just I wanted to show you my Sansiveras because I never really show them off because they are the plants that I don't care a lot about. I feel like these guys, they look super cool, the new foliage, like it's moonshiny and a lot lighter, but I feel like as it ages, it has gone a lot darker. So maybe I'm actually giving it too much light. That could be it, but I don't know. But not growing fast. And then there's my tall boy Sansivera that does barely fit in the frame. This new growth has been hanging out here forever. This used to be a big plant when I first got it, but I didn't know about repotting. I potted it in a pot that was way too big, and I just thought you should water it, but then it was all limp, so I watered it and overwatered it, and there was no drainage in the pot. And then Heimdall came and snip, and he managed to actually get into his plant 2 to 3 times, and then I kind of just gave up on everything except for this part, because this was a new growth coming out at a time, and I decided, okay, I'll give it one more chance, because I have a really hard time letting go of plants, even though I don't like them too much. But yeah, I always think that we learn so much more from each other's failures than our successes, even though that's important too. So I wanted to share with you my slow growing plants, some of them that aren't supposed to be slow growers and why they're growing slowly, and some of them that simply are slower growers, and maybe I could boost them up in growing a little bit more faster if I cared more about them. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media. I will see you next time. Bye.